Well, I just got done with a 5-hour hair appointment, the wrong color, and I'm on my menstruation. Oh, this is gonna be good. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I feel that phrase reflects my time with Helluva Boss. I don't expect my videos to influence anyone working on the show to improve it, nor for them to sway others' opinions on the show. I'm just giving my thoughts on it as a single individual, just as anyone else would. That's why I find it fascinating how Helluva has this pattern of inconsistencies within its own writing and world building that can simply be fixed with a few script revisions. Such basic rules of storytelling such as show don't tell, conflict, and structure gets tossed to the wayside that makes the writing a jumbled mess. It's like watching a house on fire. It's so bad, but I can't look away. But at a certain point, I have to stop watching and get out of there because the smog is literally killing me. So if you allow me, I'd like to share my thoughts on Helluva Boss Season 2, and I would hope that you share yours as well in the comments, and not just leave a generic "you're a hater" comment, because that's not constructive whatsoever. You know, I like to think I'm a fair critic, or at least try to be, but I hate this episode with a burning passion. Watching it is actively painful because it was the start of the new season, eager anticipation to see how Blitz and Stolas would resolve their messy conflict from the Aussies, just for this season 2 opener to establish that it is now the Stolas show, and we're going to gaslight the shit out of our audience. I just can't get over Blitz being bought as a birthday gift because Paimon couldn't be bothered to be a father, and Cash Buxo agreed to it, guilting his son over his ill mother just to get the kid to settle. Scummy daddies! Oh, you gotta love the pattern in the show. Oh, how not subtle it is. Everyone has fucking daddy issues. Upon rewatching, Blitz and Stolas did seem to have some fun time running around the castle, but did their day end with just Blitz going home? Did Stolas try to sneak out to the circus but failed due to having to study and his royal duties? Did Blitz try and fail to see Stolas at the palace but couldn't sneak away or sneak in? Thus the pair naturally drifting apart, which would have been an interesting angle to take when they were eventually reunited as adults, but 25 years later, there has been nothing. But oh my gosh, could you imagine that if instead of Stolas bringing Blitz to his room to play hide the pickle, the scene could be the same until getting to the room and them acting like they're old friends, catching up like no time has passed at all, and they just pretend play within their class struggles. But on the side, they're actually buddies, helping each other and having monthly casual, consensual boys' nights that grew into romantic feelings later on. And that's the thing about Helluva Boss. It has such great potential. You can see the artistry is there. It's, the direction is just getting steered down to a bad direction that makes no sense. But as usual, I can't have nice things. At least with this rewatch, I've gained a bit more sympathy for Stolas' life up until he met Blitz. He was miserable with a wife he never loved, sexually repressed, and isolated. Still a shit character, I'm still right about that though! And the Stolas shit show continues with a rehashed Lululand that should have been an episode for the girlies instead of Stolas proving their entire relationship is just based on sex. Seriously, that line in Full Moon of Stolas acting like a victim and their whole arrangement is just about sex? Like, motherfucker, this motherfucker has the gall, the fucking audacity to say this shit, while earlier Blitz was having a freaking panic attack about performing and Stolas was just whispering in his ear like how good he is in bed. Like, no, you don't get to say that. You don't get to say that Blitz makes it all about sex when you made the deal in the first place and you made it about sex. Oh my god, I hate this fucking bird. He's a fucking hypocrite. Great solo scene with Via and Luna though. Terrible in context because Luna isn't a good daughter at all, and Via has every right to be upset with her father, who's such a neglectful bastard, but we'll get there. Oh, and Moxie and Millie's subplot was kind of cute, I guess. I don't know. It literally just felt like those two were there for the wayside. An imp mob boss makes no sense considering imps are established to be at the bottom of society. Would have been better if Crimson was at least half shark. Now imagine that! The surprise of Moxie being quarter shark. And it could still work because, you know, when you're a quarter of something, it's kind of hard to see with your genealogy. But it's still, it would have been interesting. Really utilize that world building of the different species that you have. So not everyone has to look the fucking fine. Ugh, whatever. Though I did love the ending, but Millie should have killed Crimson and became the new crime lady. IMP could have used that funding and manpower. It would have been a much better finale than what they gave her in the end. This episode is sadly the best example of Helluva's tonal whiplash problem, seeing how Crimson treated baby Moxie and his wife, threatening his son into an arranged marriage just for the scene to end with a wall of dicks. The show tries so hard to make you laugh that it undermines any sincerity of a scene for a cheap chuckle. Moxie and Millie had a tender moment where she's worried about him. Moxie, and you could tell from his voice and facial expressions that he's not okay, putting on a brave face to not worry Millie. That's really sweet and cumbersome, but then it's ruined by the next scene because Chaz is aggressively seducing Moxie with this crappy slow jam song. But I can forgive all of it, if not for Millie's amazing show of plot conditional strength and the song that was playing. It was really a banger. I love country music. Personally, Stella's brother was not needed in this show whatsoever. They could have easily made her the manipulative one, but this dumb woman needs her big brother to negotiate for her, apparently. I really hate how every woman in the show can't stand on their own without a man being overly involved in their character. Oh, Blitz, why can't you neglect your daughter and save me? I ditch my daughter all the time to look after you. I don't like him. I hate him so fucking much. Best thing about this episode, despite the total whiplash of the scenes, Blitz taking Luna to the vet was really cute and great to see some actual good parenting for a change. Oh, but Stolas has the gall to later throw this back into Blitz's face as if sending Millie and Moxie wasn't enough. It's this fucking scene all over again.
Oh my god. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass.
What is this? Oh my god, that was,
He's such an ungrateful bitch. Like, how are you gonna act this way? Like, how are you gonna act so ungrateful? Like, even if it wasn't Blitz that was able to come, at least he sent someone. At least it didn't leave you hanging high and dry. He could have. Oh my gosh, for every good reason, Blitz really could have. But no, that just shows more about how Blitz is a better person than Stolas is, because you fucking ungrateful bird. I couldn't even really enjoy the Stolas torture. It was a nice touch, but it was just downplayed once again by sex jokes, because aside from a well-timed fuck, that's like the only jokes the show knows how to make from time to time. They would have gotten booed straight out of the Apollo. And I'd rather listen to a muscle man making his umpteenth Mammon joke. That would have been, that's way more funnier. You know who else likes a well-timed fuck? My mom! Now this will actually be my most controversial opinion this whole video, but I don't think Unhappy Campers was that bad. Yes, I know. Boo, tomatoes. It's so hard. They booed him because he was right. Moxie finally gets to be in charge of a mission. He wants to make a foolproof and complicated plan, despite even Millie doubting him. Fun episode for Millie fans, terrible time for Moxie fans. But you guys already have so much, get over it. Now I would argue that the finale's joke was dramatic irony, because from the audience standpoint, that's us guys, we know that the M&Ms aren't siblings, but the crowd doesn't. That's dramatic irony. Literary term of the day. Making it so uncomfortable that you can't help but to laugh. At least that's how I see it, because it's like, oh no, you see it coming, you see the shit storm coming and brewing, and it's like, oh no, they started to make out. It's like, on one hand, oh, look at that, I'm so happy they have such a strong and beautiful marriage. Look at this happy couple. And then it's like, oh wait, no, the audience think they're like siblings. Oh shit, oh no, oh no. That is funny to me. I'm sorry, but that was funny. Sorry, not sorry. It was funny. Blitz's quest to find his sister, however, comes literally the fuck out of nowhere. If you're not paying attention to the backgrounds of The Office or even watch the live streams from, say, 30 years ago, you wouldn't even know that Blitz has a sister in the first place, let alone a twin sister. Just seems like a poor execution to have both Blitz and Barbie in the same episode at random. And to this day, we haven't seen her since. And yet she somehow gets even more merch than the dead shark guy. Okay, whatever. I still stand on my initial review of this episode. I liked it. Solid 9 out of 10. Oops, I already did a video on it, and my opinions have not changed on the Fizz and Ozzy spinoff, with some of the worst pacing and conditional writing of this season. Just lazy with how everything was just so freaking easy. You mean to tell me that, like, oh, of all coffee shops, Blitz is in the one in the fucking greed ring? What? Why are we even, Blitz, why are we even down there? They have coffee shops in Pride. Why go to Green? Wouldn't Sloth have better? You know what? Watch my actual scripted video. Whatever, I'm out of here. 2 out of 10. The quadruple M episode, along with Oops, makes me both happy and disappointed. Happy that Helluva was capable of having 2 consecutive episodes that focus and develops a singular character that actually sticks. Disappointed that none of that happens to the main characters. As much as I enjoyed Fizz and Ozzy to a certain degree, these 2 ultimately added nothing later down the line. Their not so well kept secret isn't even a shocking reveal. But then again, this was the episode that gave me Mammon, glitz and glam, and some of the best music Helluva Boss has produced, so I can't really be too upset about that. As for the infamous scene of Fizz with the deaf imp kid that's been named Oliver after the fact by Viv in the team, upon reflection, it was a well-fitted moment. I know the scene got some backlash mainly because people didn't know the context that oh, they're putting disabled kids in hell, that's terrible. When no, this is an imp who's a hellborn and they actually live here, so them being disabled down here in hell actually adds more to the world building, and I think that's pretty neat to see. That was largely it, and some people felt like it was forced way of making us like Fizz even more because, oh, look at that, he's being nice to a deaf child. Oh, look at them signing together. Oh, how sweet. I didn't take issue because of all of that stuff. I took issue with it because there was an unattended child in an all-adult venue. But even looking back at the scene itself beforehand, we see a kid hellhound and Mammon kicked out a poor kid that couldn't pay. Blitz mentioned that he was gonna murder the stalker imp in front of the kids that were present at the moment.
Yeah, one more word out of you twats saying I'll blow your head clean open for all these fucking kids.
We even see more kids in the audience before Fizz's performance. Not to mention, at the start of the episode, Teen Fizz and Blitz attended Mammon's concert with a bunch of other younger children present, like a very young Wacky Wally. So because Mammon is such a greedy bastard, I'm willing to believe that he'd let even a fetus in if they could pay the admission fee. Secondly, this scene reminds me of what happened in Teen Titans to Cyborg. A child with a prosthetic hand gleefully runs up to him expressing that he's his favorite Titan because they're the same, as in they both share similar disabilities. So for Fizz, in the midst of wanting to avoid his thirsty, crazier fans, this scene serves as a reminder to him that there are demons that genuinely look up to him for his clowning. Similar to how Fizz once looked up to Mammon, and I think there's some beauty in that. Overall, this was a great episode for Fizz. Commentary on the importance of ditching a money-grubbing boss who only cares to exploit you for profit, which, it's kinda ironic, but whatever. Well, the break from the owl shit show was nice while it lasted. Now time for another will they, won't they, but we all know that they're going to anyway, so what's the fucking point of dragging this shit out? I'm sorry, I'm trying to be fair, to a degree. I want to be fair, but these next couple episodes are just Stolas censored, and I've made my reputation pretty clear of how I feel about this dumpster fire of a ship. So, yeah, let's just keep it pushing. Blitz's first mistake was taking advice from his single. I've been in the pound since birth, I push everyone away from me, and my first crush is dating a deadly sin daughter Luna. Not the best person at all to get dating advice from. Different episode, same issue, too easy, convenient writing between the cherubs and dorks, abysmal pacing that rushes through character beats, giving Moxie something cool to do, and then immediately pivoting to it, making him into a loser again. Once again, setting up Stolic's angst just for it to end abruptly. So it's like, what were we even doing here? All this build up, all this freaking foreplay, just to get blue-balled in the end. It's just frustrating. Watching this episode is so stupid because nothing happened. Nothing of significance, at least. It's just, the only significance was at the end. You could literally skip this entire episode and just go to the end. It doesn't matter. This could have been an email. Oh my god. But I will say that the best part of this episode was literally everything else for that exact reason, minus the Stolitz shits. But it genuinely broke my heart seeing Blitz beg for the book. It just made me sick. Now, I will give credit where credit is due. Stolas realizing that, oh, I'm the problem. I'm the baddie. I should give him the crystal. Yes, good on you. I'm glad you have some sense of self-awareness. But springing his emotions and feelings onto Blitz like that, thus starting the everlasting trail of hypocrisy for the rest of the season. I know. I hate him. I don't like him. I have a very reasonable hatred towards Stolas. But this was my biggest turning point. At this point, fuck off. You want to spring all this emotional shit and baggage onto him like you didn't put him through hell and back? How can you be both self-aware in private, but at the same time want to act like you're a victim. You're not a victim in this situation. You are a victim of circumstance, perhaps, because your father put you in arranged marriage and all this shit. But this moment here, you are not a fucking victim. Blitz is your victim, and you're just gaslighting this whole.
Take it easy, it's just a drawing.
We gotta move on. Y'all will hear more of my tangents later. You guys will hear more of my off-script tangenting later because the next 2 episodes are the Blitz Torment Hour. Oh boy, I do love victim blaming. Ah, geez, Rick. It's almost like I called it like a year ago. Granted, Blitz might have hurt his exes, but Dennis, come on, he's just a random guy he made out with, and no one even likes him there. So it's like, what is he even doing at this party? I am calling such bullshit. I'm calling shenanigans on this whole party because for some of them, it's probably not even that deep, okay? God. Stoll's hypocrisy was insufferable. I genuinely don't like this episode. This is like the worst episode in all of Helluva. Call it a bias, call me a hater, but this episode is legit irritating to watch after the fact. Stoll is just wanting to be wanted by fucking anyone is such bullshit. Nothing specific to Blitz, just to live out a fantasy instead of living in the reality of choosing a stranger over your damn daughter. Also, Verosika, honey, you're not helping the matter either. Throwing an annual party for Blitz's exes isn't healing them, nor does it help them in the long run. Verosika is the bitter ex whose justified pain for Blitz is slowly poisoning herself and those around her. This episode just made me lose all sympathy for her, because I was definitely legit on her side when it came to Spring Broken and that, yeah, Blitz was being an asshole. But it's like antagonizing him back is not getting you anywhere. That's not getting your money back. That's not getting back all the time and feelings that was hurt and spent. It's like, that hypocrisy again. Hello, you all like Blitz even mentioned, we're all shitty, we're from hell, and like you don't even give a response to that. Whatever. Verosika, whatever. Any other time we're gonna see you, it just always goes back to Blitz because you're a woman in this show who can't exist without a man counterpart for some reason. It's literally your whole character, your whole existence. That's what you were brought in for. So whatever, bitch. Next time we see you, we'll probably just be another Blitz-centered thing, or we won't see you again. Whatever. Just to fucking guilt him again. What the fuck ever. Get over it. He hurt you. You've been through the pain. It's been years. Get over it and move on with your life. It sucks. It hurts. Yeah, go to therapy. There's hell in therapy. Go to the sloth ring and relax. Go to the fucking gluttony ring and party it off. Go, just live your life. Fuck him. Gosh. The amount of spoons wasted to make a whole party about a guy you hate. Bro, I don't even hold grudges to that degree. What the fuck do I look like throwing a party for people I hate? Like, just to celebrate hating them. That is so ass backwards and stupid petty. Whatever, man. Great showcase for Millie to be the voice of reason. Love that it was her episode with Blitz and seeing where their relationship started despite it coming way later than it should have. It's awesome. It was great. I loved it. But as much as I loved Millie and Blitz's heart-to-heart, sadly, it's all talk when it comes to the lower class struggles, with no real change being accomplished or any accountability towards those of the upper class. Maybe Helluva Boss is a lot more real to life than I thought. Would have been more impactful if the demon went inside of Millie instead of Blitz, though, to see some more of her own insecurities, revealing her worries and resentments for Blitz, but overall still have faith in him because they're friends. But it is what it is. Blitz having another "I ruined everything, everyone hates me" monologue for the 3rd time this season alone is just tiring and cheap sympathy at this point. Like, I already like Blitz as a character. I already feel bad for his situation, and beyond that, I don't need to see him have a mental breakdown back to fucking back.
Oh my god, bro.
Isn't it great? Stoll is finally receiving repercussions for his actions. Maybe they shouldn't have made this a musical segment and go into greater detail of what Stoll's actions were, but oh, fantastic. Another Spade compromising rewrite. I can't wait to hear this. Don't you want him to be brought to justice? No, I want him dead. I want to put Stolas in chains and march him through Imp City so everyone can see him for the hypocritical manipulator that he is. I want him to suffer and die in darkness. But we all know it doesn't matter what I want, right, Spade? The fact is, we're just tired critics, right? He had limited potential, but now he has none. Where to even start with this episode? Mastermind is the penultimate wasted potential of Helluva Boss for favoring undercooked melodrama for their comical hit of the week characters from hell. The opening had an interesting premise for a job episode. IMP hiring interns would have been a great way to see the team interact with other imps and even a hellhound, also wanting to carve a name for themselves in a society that belittles them. IMP unknowingly instilling hope into others sounds like what Blitz would have wanted for his kind for the long term. Building the imp community together and supporting each other to prove to the upper class that they're not to be trifled with. Like similar to Strikel's initial plight before turning him into a coon with a superiority conflict. For an episode that wants to be taken super seriously because they're in a grown-up show and we're grown-ups, it sure loves to make jokes at every moment. Satan would have been a far more menacing authority figure beyond his appearance if not for his stupid hippie assistant. Oh my gosh, he was so fucking annoying. The show wants to have serious, heart-pounding moments of drama and angst, but also wants to remind you that, you can also make a laugh out of anything, anytime, ever. It doesn't matter if it's tonally inappropriate. It doesn't matter if it's trying to set up for something serious. But hey, let's have a chuckle. Let's have a little goof. Let's have a little goof every now and again.
Ridiculous. I can't stand here. I can't sit here and hear this.
Of all times of Helluva's tonal issues to bring down an episode, it had to be this one, of course. Plus, the main cast are being plain stupid. Not even an attempt to use the Osmodian crystal that, yes, Blitz has on him this entire scene. Just a dumb prolapsed plot hole hanging from the writer's backside. Even a small scene of him trying to use the crystal but failing would have satisfied this issue. Because maybe the demon cops are blocking the crystal's energy to open portals or something? I don't fucking know. Hey, Osmodius, how does your crystals work, man? Can you like block off the signal like a Wi-Fi? Can you switch them on and off? How does that work? Do you just give them, you have to have it all registered. You must have like GPS trackings in all of them. Come on now. Keepsakes, whatever. World building, that doesn't matter. Whatever, world building in this show. Who cares? Also, despite sharing the focus of the previous episode and establishing her best friend bond with Blitz, Millie is once again silenced during the most crucial moment of the series, doing absolutely nothing with Millie to the point where if you removed her from the episode, nothing would have changed. Absolutely nothing. Moxie, why do we need Millie there anyway? Millie ain't saying shit. Luna is chained up. It's just Moxie talking for the women, as the man should. We know this is a male-focused show, and therefore the men must be speaking at all times. What are these women doing here? They should be in the kitchen. Mastermind also brews a lot of questions that just ignores previous episodes and throws character relationship growth right out the fucking window. For one thing, we know that Stella's brother, look, his name is hard to say, and I'm not even gonna bother anymore. He's gonna be known as Stella's brother. His fucking genius plan is to lay the blame on IMP, mainly Blitz, for stealing, quote unquote, Stolas' grimoire and, quote unquote, forcing himself onto him. Look, Manga Comment has already done a full breakdown as to why this plan is absolute asinine and makes no sense. But as far as claiming that IMP has no permission to traverse the mortal realm would be absolute bullshit if Osmodius got that fucking dildo out of his mouth and spoke up. Ozzy, the character who's Stolas' closest confidant and aware of the owl's feelings for the imp, the Sin who gifted his crystal to Stolas to give to Blitz so IMP wouldn't be breaking demon law anymore. If this is meant to be the dramatic court scene, nail-biting moment, where's the objections? Hold it! To bring these matters to light and for Ozzy to call out this bullshit? Even Fizz texts Oz to do something, but he's just sitting there on his rump, on his non-existent ass, doing nothing. Hell, even B, who had less history with Blitz, spoke up to defend him, which is more I can say that she did for Luna, who was more heavily chained and muzzled, but that's neither here nor there. While I did enjoy the Fizz and Ozzy episodes, Fizz rekindled his friendship with Blitz, and Ozzy seeing how much Fizz values Blitz's opinions to help with the Mammon situation and eventually killing his lover's worst stalker, they ultimately wasted them here, where they could have come into play with the most crucial plot points of the entire show. This a court scene. You want a court drama? It has to go back and forth. It's not just a one-sided dick slapping. Oh my god. It's exhausting whenever Helluva Boss wants to take a stance on class divides, how belittled and mistreated imps are just to never punish or take steps to implementing actual change that affects the higher class. I joked about this earlier that Helluva is a very real reflection to real life in that aspect, but it's just frustrating to just constantly virtue signal classism and to never do anything about it. It's just a pinnacle point of like a plot episode, like, oh, we ain't got money, blah, 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 we're poor, we're broke. And later on, they're gonna make a joke about like, oh, stars, I'm poor now. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck off with that, man. You want to talk about real issues, actually go into it. Gosh. Either shit or get off the pot. Either make a joke or just make a stance. Get over it. Do something with it, damn. But the most egregious aspect of this episode accumulates in the series' main problem since season 2 even started. Stolas. I've made it clear how I don't care for the ship, nor do I care about Stolas, from both a narrative and opinionated reasons. But these sequences of events, I feel, insult my intelligence as a viewer. I find it asinine for Stolas to proclaim that he is the mastermind, which makes no sense, because if that was the case, why hire an assassin to hire another assassin to assassinate you? That's like making fun of an orphan to an orphan for being an orphan! This could have been Stolas' big moment of triumph to prove that he doesn't look down on Blitz as he claims, that he's willing to tell the truth of their arrangement. But no. He only lets Blitz know of his true feelings during a moment where it's only just them that they can hear it, but doesn't seem bothered to insult Blitz to the court to prove that an incompetent imp couldn't achieve such dastardly plans. Stolas continues to be a selfish character, and the fact that Blitz starts to put all of his eggs into this trash basket just further proves my Stockholm theory, because while yes, Stolas did get punished because he was stripped of his power and title,
For the next 100 years. Oh, motherfuck! Seriously?
which means he permanently lost his daughter. But at this point, the show has done nothing all fucks all to make me care for this broken record of a daddy-daughter relationship. We already have so many. Throw it onto the pile and burn them. I don't find that punishment to be satisfying since it's a limited time, for one, for an immortal being. Although I did smile at Stolas getting trashed through the city while imps were cheering for Blitz. That was nice. That was a little petty win for myself there. But because it was framed to give Stolas sympathy and not the comeuppance that he deserves, it rings hollow. Disgusting, even more disgusting, especially with Blitz suddenly being head over heels for him, tending to him like a little butler imp, as if the whole first season didn't fucking happen, as if that night at Aussie's didn't happen. Man, but you don't kiss. Oh my god.
Nasty, unnecessary, gross, disgusting. I'm horrified.
Fanfic. It's just such pure fanfic at this point. I've read better fanfic than this. I'm gonna speedrun this Sinsmas one because it and Mastermind are just the most brain-numbing episodes of the series. The Stolas and Blitz montage feels like pure fanfiction, considering everything that these two have been through. It's undeserved fluff that just makes me nauseous and makes no sense. Watching Blitz bending over backwards for Stolas, being the kindest he's ever been to anyone in the whole series, to Stolas of all people, just does not sit right in my soul. I hate it, genuinely. It's pathetic of him. He's like a mistreated puppy staying by Stolas' side, as if that's all he knows. Even worse, how ungrateful Stolas has been, keeping up with his privileged demeanor that's playing directly into the stuck-up prince act he feared Blitz saw him as in the first place. The lack of self-awareness in the writing is ever so painful. Little minor side tangent here, but the fact that Stolas didn't even know that Blitz's favorite animal, hell, his favorite thing in the world, were horses, just shows how shallow their relationship is and makes me want to punch a wall. Because what do you mean you love him, he's your light? You've abandoned your daughter for a one-night stand, and yet you don't even know the bare bone basics of Blitz. And I can't even say the same to Blitz, Mr. Oh, you're my heart, but not knowing that what Stolas can even eat. Sure, love is so beautiful when you don't know shit about the other partner. It's like if one of the Disney movies actually moved past the happily ever after. It's just an awkward time of them at the dining table, like, so, you got any siblings? Yeah, I don't know shit from dick about each other. It's just all sex. This should be more awkward and strange. But no, they're trying to play it up like it's some cute and fluffy, yay, we're here now, and having Blitz be the chaser instead of the chasee for once, and I just can't have it. Stole shits aside, I love the concept of Sinsmas and the Hellborn celebrating their birth sins. It's because of this holiday, it's the best we've seen of Moxie and Millie as a couple. Play fighting, but taking great care to not severely hurt the other was so adorable. Can't say the same for their client, sadly, because, you know, call me crazy. I think cheating should be treated like a big deal. The Karen client at worst could have been homophobic, but at best she's reasonably mad that her husband has been cheating on her, and the first chance he gets an out, he takes their kids and moves in with his lover during Christmas? Like, we don't even know which man was her husband to begin with. I legit can't tell who's who. Maybe I must have missed that one tweet or that live stream. My bad. I don't keep up with the lore, guys. Uh-oh. I'm not a diehard. I'm just a filthy casual, you know? We don't know which husband was hers. We don't know if she was a good mother or wife or not. Just that she's screaming and being a bitch and a woman, so therefore she must be in the wrong. Because that's how we established our villains, our antagonists in the show. If she's a woman, she checks all the boxes. She's screaming, she's being a bitch, and she's a woman, she's so wrong. She's the one in the wrong. Look no deeper than that. God. You know, I'd be pissed in her situation too, because damn, Millie was right. Blitz was being a hypocrite during this whole situation because he saw himself in the family. As far as we know, the husband or lover could have killed her, but her death will forever be a mystery, which leaves sympathy for her character and what could have been almost like another mother character in this show that was cheated on in the series, but we don't get to have her side of the story at all. Now she's just a dumb bitch. Maybe the Karen's client's brother will come down to hell too and try to vouch for her or something. Who knows? The series picks and chooses who gets punished for cheating. That then gets downplayed by the online communities. Meanwhile, headcanons of Millie or Blitz cheating or being unloyal are blown out of proportion, while at the same time ignoring the effects of cheating has on those around them, like Octavia, who may or may not be fully aware of how Stella treated Stolas throughout the years, but regardless, she's a child from a broken home. But we don't need to know more about her. She's a girl, so who cares? Who the fuck cares? Women don't get no agency in the show. Who cares? She's a girl. Who cares? Now, if she was a boy, priorities. We gotta put him on a pedestal. We gotta do that. Let's call him October. Male Octavia, October. If it was October, bruh, get your son. Get your son, Stolas. That's the only way you're gonna give a shit if it was your son. Shit, I went off on another unscripted tangent. My bad. Back to that. Her last saving grace was her father. So seeing him break promise after promise, willingly sacrifice his life on TV for all of hell to see for his side piece, she's completely in the right to give up on Stolas and leave him behind, just as he has so many times before. And I know what you're thinking. If Stolas didn't go, Blitz would have died. I mean, if Stolas wasn't watching TV, Blitz would have died regardless. He doesn't just, watch TV all the time. He clearly was more concerned about Blitz in that moment. He did the right thing by being there and saving Blitz. He did the wrong thing by not being completely honest, but you know what? Whatever. Fuck it. Blitz is alive when Stolas should have died. Whatever. Octavia has had the best growth out of the entirety of the main cast in Helluva Boss, that I am genuinely happy to see her finally putting herself first. Is she in danger of being manipulated by her mother and uncle? Yes, but now that she's demonstrated what immense power she has, even enough to defeat her own uncle, she has the means to fight back and stand her ground. Until, the writing ultimately makes her falter into a sobbing daddy's girl mess again because, woman, we can't have the women be strong and independent. What is this? There's no man that we can attach her to. So if Stolas ever wants to see his daughter again, he has to stop with the excuses, stop waffling, and admit to his wrongdoings. Selfish behavior for a fantasy he built in his head, just like he did in the office in front of absolutely no one that would have had a meaningful impact on. How come Blitz always has to dump his fucking failings and baggage onto others, but Stolas just gets to vent to no one of importance? It's so unfair. Okay, here's another minor nitpick, but I just gotta get it out there. Luna's werewolf form felt very random and disappointing at the same time, that she wasn't as monstrous as she could have been. At least in Spring Broken, it was established that most demons can conjure a human disguise, so Luna and Vortex, seeing them as humans, the only hellhounds that we knew at the time, proved that, and that was interesting. That was cool. That was good around here. Clap, clap, snap, snaps. Good world building establishment there. So if we ever see Vortex's werewolf form, I just hope it's not as disappointing, you know? Who am I kidding? Of course it won't. This show handles women like a fucking bull in a china shop. You know, for a season finale, it was just very, very, very disappointing. This finale wants to set up the expectations of Via, starting a new chapter, and Millie dealing with the sudden pregnancy in her line of work, and Stolitz finally coming into fruition, but still having melodramatic complications just does not entice me whatsoever. As much as Helluva Boss loves to set up plot points and potential character motivations, it never follows through in a satisfying way, at least to me, because the points get dropped or comes back way later to the point where it just doesn't matter or it feels relevant anymore, or just dumbs down all the freaking antagonists for a bad joke. I don't want Blitz to only mention his twin sister when consoling Stolas' reprehensible actions. I don't want to see the antagonists fall further from grace just to make a cheap punchline. I don't want to see Stolas crying hysterically in one moment and then genuinely in the next just to try to garner sympathy for him in multiple attempts to make him seem likable. I'm tired of waiting for this show to get better. I'm tired of seeing the animation improve while the writing puts itself in a corner. I'm tired of the inconsistency. I'm tired of the mishandling of female characters. I'm tired of the jokes undercutting dramatic moments. I'm tired of a Family Guy tier series trying and failing to be a BoJack Horseman. I'm tired of Helluva Boss. So I didn't know where to put this section, but I just wanted to get it out there and rip the band-aid, because there's been so much poor excuses as a way to defend the show that it just needs to be said. It's hell. What do you expect? For the embodiment of lust to not be pro-consent, for gluttony to encourage others to overindulge and not just be about food. I know gluttony can be more than food, guys, but she literally her only thing about being gluttonous is food, so there you go. For the embodiment of wrath to fly off the fucking handle and not have a fucking guru on his side to calm him down. Why is Mammon the only good representation of his sin, but treated as the worst guy ever when they are in hell? Why does Verosika keep harboring resentment towards Blitz when it's hell? They're all shitty. This world wants to be subversive, but also revels in the fact that they're in an environment where shitty behavior is the norm. It wants to have its cake and eat it too, but that just makes everyone come across as giant, inconsistent hypocrites. And that's what makes the writing so frustrating. I'm supposed to feel sympathy for Stolas' feelings not being reciprocated by a low-class imp he sexually coerced in season 1 and act like he never disrespected him? Fuck off with that. This show heavily relies on its audience to not think for themselves and keep spouting, oh, it's hell, it's hell, it's hell. Like that excuse saves nothing and it brings more into question, if anything. Too much swearing. And on that point of it's hell comes the swearing. Oh, it's an adult show, so of course they're gonna swear. Yeah, no shit. They're not unique for saying fuck. But to have an excessive amount across all your characters makes them sound the same and just blends together, which undercuts any time a character swears for emphasis. And for an adult show, they swear like preteens. Panty and Stocking curse a lot too, and they're far more vulgar than the whole Helluvaverse put together, because it's creative and not just saying fuck or dick for the umpteenth time. Plus the contrast of two angels, heavenly beings, being kicked out of heaven, and we see why they got the boot. Panty is a slut. She embodies lust to a T, while Stocking is a sweets glutton that she neglects her responsibilities if it means getting a slice of cake. Every masterpiece has its cheap copy. They're better representations of lust and gluttony than Ozzy and B ever will be. It's not sexist. If show no sexist, then why does every prominent female character can't exist on their own, can't have motivations, and can't have a conflict that doesn't somehow tie back to their male counterparts? If show no sexist, then why that? If show no sexist, then how come I can't think of Verosika without thinking of Blitz? Because that's literally her only character is tied to Blitz. If show no sexist, then how come when it comes to Fizz, he had 2 back-to-back episodes and we can speak volumes of how he is? Yes, he's also tied back to Blitz, but he has his own shit going on in his own job. Verosika is just a succubus. What does that mean? She's a pop star too. Oh, cool. And we don't see her perform often. We don't hear of like any concerts she's been to. We don't even see like background details such as Verosika posters and such. Just pop star bitch. Yep. That's what I thought. I still have much love for the first season of Helluva Boss. The animation is spectacular and the music can be hit or miss, but watching season 2 made me yearn for the simpler times. Overall, this season is like a 2 out of 10 for me. While I said that season 1 was a beautiful mess, season 2 could be considered a hot mess. Well, that's not a very catchy YouTube title now, is it? The writing was at an all-time low for me, and it's not even fun anymore to analyze the show. So I'm done. I'm done putting any more analytical thought into Helluva Boss because frankly, it's not worth my time anymore. Shame though, really. I would have so many video ideas I could make from the show itself, but struggle to find the time and energy to make it. Like explaining why I think Applejack from My Little Pony is a better supporting character than Millie has ever been, or giving my reasoning as to why I disagree with the headcanon of Solus being autistic. So many video ideas, such little time, but even if I still wanted to do them, that would require overanalyzing a show that wants to be a grown-up while having the mentality and humor of a teenage boy in sex ed. Putting a lot of overthought into a show that's writing doesn't have as much thought put into it and just relies on you just not to think. It's no good. It's just exhausting. I can't keep wrapping my head around a series that requires extensive cliff notes outside of the show to keep making sense of things, because I like to tackle the show from the perspective of a general audience and take what the show offers at face value. You shouldn't have to seek outside information to make sense of the show, nor should headcanons be the accepted end-all be-all of knowledge revolving a show. Having your fandom make up the show as it goes along just further confuses my rewired brain as is. Not to mention the amount of times the show makes less sense the more you think about it actually hurts my developed frontal lobe. If you decided to subscribe just for my Helluva content, I thank you genuinely and for sticking around for as long as you did. Kindly consider my other content that I put as much effort if not more into. As a smaller channel, I do worry this could alter the course of my growth, but I don't want to be pigeonholed into one show. I'm not like one of those total drama channels that their whole shtick is just total drama and nothing but total drama. Ooh, it's a nightmare. I want to talk about other shows and media that I'm passionate about, good or bad. I don't want to be forever known for the Helluva content. I would love to be known as the one crazy fan for Imagine Dragons, and I don't want to hear zip from bip. I already got an idea of a video for that. I love Imagine Dragons. So I understand what it feels like, Helluva Boss stan, when someone just blindly hates something you love and you see the artistry in it. While I don't see the higher art that Helluva Boss has to offer, you clearly do, and that's great, and you shouldn't let people take that away from you. While of course, what you love isn't perfect, what I love isn't perfect, that's fine, but if you enjoy it, that's fine, and you could again alter your internet viewing experience to suit your needs. Don't live in an echo chamber, but also acknowledge that it makes you happy, it makes you feel good. That's what matters at the end of the day. It's your crappy show. You love your crappy show. It's my crappy music. I love my crappy music. It's like a golden turd. It's shit to everyone else, but we see the beauty. Okay, that's just how I feel. Even though my years old videos called the poor writing on the wall for most characters, while everyone else is finally playing catch up, genuinely does make me laugh because I could have jumped ship so much sooner, but when I saw it sinking miles away. Regardless, I still want to make videos in my spare time and hope that you all subscribe and stay subscribed while I flesh out new content with some great changes on the horizon. And consider liking, do all the YouTube stuff. Take care. I'll see you all in the next one.